All right. Hello, Andy, and
Hello, Jake.
thanks for sitting down with me. Um, First of all, just wanted to talk about your new album, and how's it pronounced, just so everybody.
Parachilna.
Parachilna. And what does that come from? And
Well, it's the name of a spot in South Australia. You couldn't call it a town, and you couldn't call it even a village. Uh, there may, if there's a couple of houses there, I didn't see them, but there is a famous pub called the Prairie Hotel, and it's a great spot for eating kangaroo and emu and having a bottle of Cooper's Red.
nice.
So we were there a lot, and we camped around the corner from that place, and we played quite a bit of the album in an old schoolhouse there.
Okay. Now, did I think I read that you also recorded out and about in maybe some abandoned places or some off the beaten path. What was the process that went into that? What kind of?
Well, we had one great recording session in an old historic wool shed. I think there might be photographs of it on the web, and it was a beautiful place. And we recorded about three things there, and then we had to abandon it because it was still it wasn't the holiday period anymore. But people were coming to view, like visitors coming to have a look at this old historic wool shed, and we felt kind of all this equipment up there was probably not going to make them feel that they were back in the 19th century. But we recorded we went over with my laptop, my Mac, and I had Pro Tools in it. And we had a thing called a Motu Traveler, which was the sound module that the microphones plugged into. And we had a few good mics, AKG 414s, and actually the vocal mic that was used was an SM58, so
Oh, wow.
yeah. And the recordings are very good. We did have to spend quite a lot of time in a studio mixing it, because when you're all playing at the same time, or the two of us playing at the same time, especially one person, the vocal and the instrument, the spill from one to the other is quite serious, and so actually mixing between the voice and the instrument took a lot of time. It's a bit of a compromise always like that.
Right.
But it came out sounding good, I think, and it doesn't sound like it was just kind of recorded on an iPad or anything. It's got a professional sound to it.
Yeah. Now, was it? Did that really help the? Inspirationally, was it good to be in the country that the album is?
Yes, it was great to be. It was great, and the expedition around South Australia and that part of New South Wales was also important. We went to nature to parks where there were kind of Aboriginal footprints from 20,000 years ago. It was kind of a historic thing as well as recording, and so the whole thing was a pure joy, except for the fact that it was July and the coldest winter month of the year down there, and people won't believe how cold it can get in Australia in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, we really at night it was freezing. You'd dress up in everything you had, including woolly hat, gloves, even. And then you get into your sleeping bag, and you'd just be kind of thinking, am I getting a little bit warmer now? And you'd suddenly think, oh God, I've got to get out and have a pee, like. Wild and furious blew the blast, and the sky with anger frowned, when the Dandenong from Melbourne sailed to Newcastle port was bound. She had 83 poor souls on board, through the storm she cleaved her way, and it's sad to relate the terrible fate. 'Twas just off Jarvis Bay, and I long for you, I long for sleep, I dream of being warm. Through the night I have to sail to brave this raging storm. While ploughing through those angry waves, her propelling shaft gave way, and the waters they came pouring in, which filled them with dismay. All hands on board did all they could, till at length all hope was gone, and they hoisted a signal of distress on board the Dandenong. It was not long until a bark with a brisk and a lively crew came bearing down, and the captain cried, "We'll see what we can do." Came bearing down with might and main, in spite of wind and rain. They did all they could, as sailors would, those precious lives to save. And I long for you, I long for sleep, I dream of being warm. Pray the sea will let me be, to face another dawn. Well, some in boats they tried to reach that kind and friendly bark, and numbers of their lives were saved, but the night came on pitch dark. What more could mortal man do then, when the storm increased full strong, and the rest no sleep in the briny deep,